Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that like button, drop a comment, share this video, and smash that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to show you today is genuinely going to change how you see two of the biggest girl groups in K-pop right now. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know I don't throw around words like shocking without a real reason. So trust me, stay until the very end, because the last point I make might be the one that blows your mind the most. Alright. Let me ask you something. When you first heard the name H2H, or H2H, what came to mind? SM Entertainment's newest girl group? aespa's little sisters? The hottest rookie of 2025? Sure, maybe all of that. But here's what almost nobody is talking about. The journey of H2H, from the very beginning all the way to now, follows a blueprint that is almost identical, point by point, step by step, to the blueprint that BABYMONSTER from YG walked before them. And I'm not talking about vague similarities. I'm talking about specific details that line up in a way that honestly feels too precise to be a coincidence. By the time this video is over, I guarantee you will never look at these two groups the same way again. Let's start at the very beginning. Because the first similarity hits before either group even had a debut date confirmed. BABYMONSTER's existence was first teased publicly through YG's Next Movement poster at the end of December 2022. But before that, rumors of a new YG girl group had been circulating since as early as 2018. Their last girl group before BABYMONSTER was Blackpink, who debuted in 2016. That means the K-pop world waited nearly 7 years before YG's next girl group finally arrived. 7 years of build-up. 7 years of rumors, leaked practice room photos, and fan theories. By the time BABYMONSTER was officially announced, the anticipation was at an absolute boiling point, and YG knew exactly how to use that energy. Now look at H2H. SM Entertainment first mentioned plans for a new girl group as part of their SM 3.0 business strategy announcement in February 2023. But the actual debut? It kept getting pushed back. From Q4 2023, delayed to the first half of 2024, delayed again to Q4 2024, and finally landing on February 24, 2025. Here's the thing, aespa, SM's previous girl group, debuted in 2020. That means H2H arrived 5 years after aespa, making them SM's first new girl group in half a decade. The delay didn't kill the hype. It amplified it. Every new postponement just made fans hungrier. Sound familiar? Because that is exactly what happened with BABYMONSTER. Both groups arrived after years of waiting, and both used that waiting period to build an audience before a single note of music was ever released. But hold on, because we're just getting started. The next similarity is where things start to get really interesting, and honestly, a little eerie. BABYMONSTER did not simply appear out of nowhere and announce their debut. YG had a very specific strategy for introducing them to the world. Starting on January 12, 2023, they began releasing individual live performance videos for each member, Rami first, then Ahyun, Chiquita, Asa, Rora, Farida, and finally Ruka on February 6. Each video gave one member their own moment to shine, showcasing raw vocal and dance ability before the group even officially existed as a unit. The strategy was genius. It created individual fan connections with each member before debut, meaning by the time BABYMONSTER actually dropped music, people weren't just fans of the group, they were fans of specific members. Their YouTube channel hit 1 million subscribers in just 52 days after it was created, at the time, the fastest any K-pop girl group had ever done it. Now look at H2H's pre-debut strategy. On January 31, 2025, H2H's official Instagram began dropping a series of images introducing the members one by one. Then on February 3, a trailer titled Chase Your Choice was released, giving the world a full visual introduction to all 8 members before the debut dropped. SM built the anticipation systematically, teaser by teaser, member by member, creating that same individual connection between fans and each girl before anyone had even heard the debut song. Two different companies. Two different eras. One identical playbook. Now here is the part that personally gave me chills. And if you've been half paying attention up until now, I need you to lock in for this next part, because this is where the blueprint gets undeniable. One of BABYMONSTER's biggest selling points, and one of the things that made them genuinely historic, was their multinational lineup. With Ruka and Asa from Japan, and Farida and Chiquita from Thailand, alongside their Korean members, BABYMONSTER became one of the most internationally diverse girl groups in K-pop's fourth generation. It wasn't just a gimmick. It was a statement about who K-pop is for and where it's going. H2H made the exact same statement, except they took it even further. Carmen, whose full name is Nyoman Ayu Carmenita, is the oldest member of H2H. She was born on March 28, 2006, in Denpasar, Bali, Indonesia, and she made history as the first ever Indonesian idol to debut under SM Entertainment. Let that sink in. Not just the first under SM, but a genuinely historic moment for Indonesian representation in the K-pop industry. Just like BABYMONSTER used their international members to signal a new era of global K-pop, H2H is doing the exact same thing with Carmen as their flag bearer for Southeast Asian representation under one of the biggest labels in the world. Okay. Now we get to the most dramatic chapter of this whole story. And honestly, this one might be the most emotional comparison of everything I've covered so far. BABYMONSTER was supposed to debut earlier. Everything was in place. And then on November 15, 2023, just 12 days before their debut with Batter Up, YG announced that member Ahayan would not be participating in the debut due to health reasons. She remained a member of the group, but she would not be on that stage. So BABYMONSTER debuted on November 27, 2023, as a 6-member group. And for months, fans held their breath waiting for her return. When YG finally confirmed on January 25, 2024 that Ahayan had recovered and would be rejoining the group for their first mini-album, it became one of the most emotionally charged moments in recent K-pop history. On April 1, 2024, BABYMONSTER officially debuted as a complete 7-member group with BABYMON 7ER and the title track, Sheesh. The drama of that journey, the incomplete debut, the uncertain wait, the emotional reunion, built a narrative so powerful that it brought millions of people into the fandom just to see how the story ended. H2H didn't have the exact same situation, but the narrative of uncertainty and repeated delays created an almost identical emotional weight. Every single postponement, from 2023 all the way to early 2025, kept fans in a constant state of anxious anticipation. When SM finally dropped the surprise reveal VCR at their Suntown Live 2025 concert on January 12, 2025, announcing that the group's name was H2H and that they would debut in February, the reaction was explosive. People weren't just excited, they were relieved. That relief, that release of tension after a long wait, is the same emotional payoff that BABYMONSTER's fans felt when Ahayan finally came back. Both stories gave fans a reason to be emotionally invested long before the music even started. Now let's talk about the actual debut, because the numbers don't lie. BABYMONSTER dropped Batter Up in November 2023 and shattered records for debut music video views within 24 hours for a K-pop girl group at the time. Their skills were undeniable, their stage presence was electric, and when Sheesh arrived in April 2024, it became their first top 10 entry on South Korea's Circle Digital chart and hit 200 million views in just 33 days, the fastest K-pop girl group debut song to ever reach that milestone at that point in time. H2H debuted on February 24, 2025 with The Chase, and the results were remarkable for a rookie group. First week sales dominated domestic charts. And then just 15 days after debut, on March 11, 2025, H2H took home their very first music show win on the show. 15 days. That is an insanely fast first win that speaks directly to the strength of their pre-debut fanbase and the quality of the song itself. The Chase went on to surpass 100 million streams on Spotify, a milestone that many groups don't reach even within their first year. Both groups arrived, both groups delivered, and both groups backed up every single bit of hype that had been built before their debut. But here's what separates legends from one-hit wonders: what happens after the debut. And this is where the blueprint becomes the most clear. BABYMONSTER didn't slow down after their debut. They kept building, releasing Forever as a pre-release single, then dropping their first full studio album, Drip, in November 2024. That album surpassed 1 million copies in domestic sales, debuted on the Billboard 200 at number 149, and its title track became their second top 10 hit in South Korea. Step by step, release by release, they proved that they weren't just a moment, they were a movement. H2H followed that exact same trajectory. After The Chase, they came back with digital single, Style, in June 2025, then released their first mini-album, Focus, in October 2025 with pre-release track, Pretty Please. Then in February 2026, they dropped Rude. And that single earned them their first ever win on Inkigayo on March 22, 2026, one of the most prestigious music programs in Korea. Each comeback was a step up. Each release showed growth. The pattern is unmistakable. And if you need the ultimate proof that these two groups are running the same blueprint, look at the awards. BABYMONSTER swept virtually every rookie award in their debut year, cementing themselves as the undisputed rookies of their era. H2H did the exact same thing. They won Best New Artist at the 2025 Mama Awards in November 2025. They won New Artist of the Year at the 2025 Melon Music Awards in December 2025. In total, from 2025 to 2026, Hearts collected no fewer than 13 rookie awards. 13. That's not just good for a rookie group, that is a historic performance that mirrors almost exactly what BABYMONSTER achieved in their own debut year. So what does all of this mean? Is it a coincidence? Is one copying the other? Honestly, I don't think it's either of those things. What we're seeing here is something much more interesting. We're seeing proof that the K-pop industry, through two of its biggest labels, has quietly developed a blueprint for launching a generational girl group, and it works. Build hype through years of anticipation. Introduce members gradually to create individual emotional connections. Include international representation to signal global ambition. Create a dramatic narrative that keeps the public emotionally invested. Debut with undeniable impact. And then sustain that momentum with consistent, high-quality comebacks. BABYMONSTER executed this blueprint to perfection. And H2H? They are walking that same path with their own identity, their own sound, and their own story, and the results speak for themselves. This doesn't make either group less special. If anything, it makes them more fascinating to watch side by side. Because while the blueprint might be similar, the girls are completely different. BABYMONSTER brings that raw, powerful YG energy rooted in hip-hop and performance intensity. H2H brings SM's signature mix of dreamy concepts, precision choreography, and emotional storytelling. Same road. Two very different destinations. And that's the shocking truth nobody was talking about, until now. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I genuinely appreciate you. That means everything to this channel. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree that H2H and BABYMONSTER are following the same blueprint? Or is there a key difference you think I missed? Drop it in the comments below, because your takes are always the best part of this community. If you found this video interesting, please give it a like, it helps more people find this content. Share it with your K-pop friends, because I promise this is going to start some conversations. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time, because there is a lot more content like this coming very soon. See you in the next one. Annyeong.